Hello there. Today's story is the story of Nasira and the white elephant. Now, a long time ago in Africa, where the Maasai nation live, you know those people, very, very tall, with long spears, big shields and red cloaks, and they love looking after lots and lots of cattle, and they move from place to place where the grass is longer and fresher, and they make villages and surround them with big thorny hedges to keep the lions out at night. These people, the Maasai, they love fire. They love to sit down around a big fire and talk and laugh and joke and sort out problems under the stars at night, but always watching out for the lion or the hyenas that would come looking for their cattle. Every evening they would go out into the wild parts beyond the village walls to look for dry kindling wood. And one day there was a lady and her daughter. Her daughter was called Nasira, and they were walking along with big knives called panga knives, and they would chop the dry bits of wood and wrap them into bundles and put them on their shoulders or their heads or over here and walk along back to the village and build the big fire. One evening, however, the mother said to the girl, Nasira, "Look up there." And there were 3 big lazy vultures circling round, looking down at the ground. And the mother said to the daughter, "There is an animal in trouble here somewhere. They're waiting for their evening meal." And sure enough, whilst they were chopping with those knives, they heard the sound of an animal that was in fear and in pain. So they looked through the thicket of trees and they could see a small baby elephant, all frightened and upset, surrounded by 6 snarling, snapping hyenas who were trying to get the elephant and eat it. And as they watched, one of these hyenas jumped up and bit the elephant's ear, and blood began to run down. The daughter, Nasira, felt something inside her, and she thought, "This can't go on." And she jumped forward, waving her knife in the air and screaming and shouting, and frightened the hyenas away. And then she dropped her knife. She went up to the elephant and put her arm around it and held it close and stroked its little trunk and whispered things to it and said, "You'll be fine, you'll be okay, we'll look after you." Her mother is walking towards her daughter and the elephant, and then she suddenly realizes something very important. She says, "Nasira, look at the elephant. Look at the colour of the elephant." And the daughter looked, she said, "Oh, it's white, it's completely white." And the mother said, "That is because it comes from Enkai, our god in the sky. This is a magical elephant." But the daughter said, "Magical or not, its ear is bleeding. Can you go back to the village, mother, and get some water and some healing leaves? I'll stay here and look after it. We must do something." So the mother went back to the village, returned quickly with a bowl of warm water with some leaves in it and a cloth to wipe the elephant's ear. And the girl wiped the ear and stroked the trunk all the time and spoke to it, and the elephant felt so different. And at one point, the little elephant with its little trunk lifted the trunk up and put it on the forehead of Nasira, as if giving her a kiss to say thank you. She came back the next day with some food for the elephant and some more water and some more leaves, and the white elephant, the little white elephant, had gone. She felt sad because she'd wanted to care for it and look after it and talk with it, but she felt happy because maybe the elephant was actually better and had gone off to find his family. Well, The years rolled into years. One followed the other, and Nasira grew into a beautiful woman. She got married. She had children of her own, a boy and a girl, and they lived still in that big village. And one day, when her boy was 15 and he'd decided he'd become a man, and he was going to go and leave the village and start his own village and take his friends, like they do in that nation of people. And also like they do, he said to his mother, "Will you come with me?" And she said, "Yes, of course, son, I will. My daughter I will leave with her grandmother. We will go and start your new village." So they went off and they started a new village. And there he was with all his friends and his cattle that he'd taken with him, and life was good. One evening, between that time when the summer is starting to end and the autumn is beginning and the rainy season is nearly upon them, in the evening time they heard the sound of someone running. And they looked out over the wall of the village and they saw this man running towards them. And Nasira said, "That's one of our people." And sure enough, he came up and he went into the village and said, "Oh, Nasira, oh, your daughter, she's ill. She has the sleeping sickness. You must come. You must help her. They can't heal her." Nasira said, "Right, I'll leave first thing in the morning. I'll need a few bits. It'll take me 2 days to walk there. Thank you for coming. Rest, eat. Be with us this evening." Her son said, "Mother, I will come with you. It's a long way and you never know what creatures are out there. I will bring my spear, my shield, and I will protect you, my mother." His mother said, "Okay, son, that's fine. You do that. We'll go together." And indeed, they set off the next day, mother and son, walking the long road. In the first day, they may have walked 30 miles. But all the time, Nasira could look and feel big clouds coming slowly over the edge of the world, following them. She thought, this is the first storm of the rainy season. And the clouds seemed to chase after them. And as evening fell, her son said, "We must find shelter. The storm may come and break upon us. Let's build a shelter over there, under that baobab tree, this big tall tree with branches like hands." So he began to look for wood to make a shelter, and his mother, Nasira, started to gather little bits of wood like she used to when she was a girl to make the fire. But the storm was quicker than them, and it loomed right above them, and it blocked out the stars and the moon. And suddenly, zing, 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 the lightning began to fall, and the thunder rumbled as if from the belly of the earth. And then there was a great big zing of lightning. It struck the baobab tree and split it. And the son who was over here turned and looked, and one half of the tree turned and fell, bang, and trapped his mother underneath it. She was shouting, she was in pain, she couldn't move. She said, "My legs, I can't get up." And he dashed across. He tried to lift the tree. He got his spear under it and he was trying to lift it up like this, but nothing was happening. And then suddenly he felt the air move behind him and the ground trembled, and he thought something like a giant had come upon them. And he turned round and there was this great big bull elephant with its ears flapping like this slowly, and it looked down upon them. And then it leaned over them more and leaned down, and with its big tusks lifted the tree and wrapped its trunk round it to give it some help, and lifted it and threw it to one side. Nasira's son was awestruck, and she lay there smiling. He said, "But mother, it's an elephant, it could be dangerous." She said, No. She said, "Look at the elephant, son." And in the light of the moon, which had appeared in a gap in the clouds, he could see the elephant was completely white. Nasira said, "This elephant and I, we are old friends. Look at us." And then the elephant did a strange thing. It took one big step forward and with its long trunk placed the end of it on the forehead of Nasira, as if giving her a kiss to say, "Good to see you again." Then he turned and was gone into the night. And Nasira and her son went all the way to the village and found her daughter, and all was well. That is the story of Nasira and the white elephant. Thank you.